Hi everyone, it's me Giovanni, and I thought of a video idea yesterday, but so much is happening today that, you know what, why don't I just talk about something else that I had in mind? It's about Gypsy Rose Blanchard, and ever since on TikTok people were talking about her, including Nina, a beauty influencer, who's been trying to expose her, which I can now understand why. But still, I don't know. But I will say this, I know now that Gypsy was in on it with her mama about this scam thing, about pretending to be sick. But I believe that Gypsy was still abused by her mother when Gypsy wanted to do things like any teenager, but her mother, Dee Dee, was still sick in the head and thought she was sick and thought she didn't deserve to go anywhere unless she was with her. And that, of course, ticked off Gypsy. I mean, she manipulated Nicholas. I get it. And he deserved to have justice. He deserves to have a fair trial, to not be in prison for life. But at the same time, he doesn't deserve to be let free. He deserves to be in a mental hospital to get help. But at the same time, I doubt that a retrial for Nicholas and Gypsy will ever happen. Like, I really do not see that happening, because Gypsy's, of course, living her life, and Gypsy just doesn't care about Nicholas. She doesn't care about him. She's trying to focus on her life. I do understand that Gypsy is a master manipulator. She manipulated Nicholas into murdering her mother, even though she didn't commit the murder herself. She did she had the plan to murder her mother, okay? She had the plan to murder her mother, okay? She was the one who planned it, while Nicholas murdered her, okay? Good. Now, it kind of bothers me that people think that Nicholas is autistic because at the same time he suffered from multiple personalities. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know if that's even possible. Like, why do people think that Nicholas is autistic? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me, because especially since I'm autistic and I'm completely fine. It's not like I'm having some sort of it's not like I'm suffering from some mental illness or whatever. No. Being autistic doesn't mean you have to suffer a mental illness or whatever. It's just, for me, it's just something that's just non-existent. Things just happen. Okay? I don't. Now, there was also, well, Gypsy divorced her ex-husband, her then husband, Ryan, and then moved on to her ex-fiance, Ken, immediately after she left Ryan. And even though Ryan was also in the wrong, at the same time he does miss Gypsy, and Gypsy doesn't regret her relationship with Ryan, but I don't know. It's just kind of wacky. And of course, one of the TikTokers, Katie Marie, who is an actual mouse. I can't even say it, but MSP victim. Okay? She got her leg amputated when she was young. A healthy leg. Thanks to her mother. But even though I remember one time where there were pictures of Katie when she was young, and I remember seeing it that she looked a lot like Gypsy. I mean, she also does now, but not really. They don't look that similar. I mean, I can see it in their face, but no, I mean, their story is completely different. And the fact that, well, it's not Gypsy herself, but more her friends and her fans attacking Katie and trying to report her TikTok account, which it just makes me feel sick. It makes me feel sick that Gypsy is allowing this to happen. Or she probably has no idea that this is happening. Like, no. Gypsy used Katie's story to her own benefit. And Gypsy said when she gets out of prison that she's going to be a Munchausen syndrome by proxy activist. But even though it used to say it on her social media, but it doesn't anymore. She said that she was going to be an activist for that illness, but that did not actually happen, did it? No, she just used it for money. And yeah, I completely understand that. I mean, putting all of this together, it's kind of confusing to... I can't tell if Gypsy is supposed to be a manipulator or a victim. Probably both, because even though she went along with her mother's schemes, she was abused by her mother. And she planned a murder, manipulated a man who was her boyfriend, who suffered from a mental illness causing him to have multiple personalities. And I'm just going to say this. I don't believe that he's autistic. I just don't believe that. I mean, really. It just doesn't make sense. Gypsy got out of prison, divorced her now ex-husband Ryan, and moved on right away to her ex-fiance Ken. She's making money somehow, especially when she said that she was going to be a Munchausen syndrome activist, But in reality, that did not happen, and she just made money off of that whole thing, especially since she had a book and a lifetime series. Yeah, I mean, Gypsy is a manipulator. She is. But she was a victim of not not, not by that mental illness, but mostly a common victim of abuse. And most of the time, people who are abused do not become murderers. Sure, Gypsy did not commit the murder, but she planned the murder. She manipulated someone who was suffering a mental illness. He's suffering life in prison. He does deserve justice, but he does not deserve to be free. He deserves to be in a mental hospital to get help, to get treatment. But at the same time, a retrial, I doubt that would ever happen because nobody cares about Nicholas. Nobody cares about him. And it's bad enough that Nina is rightfully so exposing Gypsy. I understand. But at the same time, why? Why should we care about Nicholas? I don't care. And I don't care about Gypsy anymore. I don't care about whatever's happening. But what I do know is that when I heard about Katie being harassed by Gypsy's friends and stans and her account being reported by these people, I just felt so bad for her. It just made me feel sick that people would do this to someone. An actual victim of Munchausen syndrome by proxy. Like, why? Why would they do this to her? Like, Katie, sweet, lovely Katie. I'll pray for you. I'll pray for you. I'll pray for you. I swear to God, I'll pray for you. And Gypsy, I just hope you understand that. I hope you understand that I don't hate you, but at the same time, I don't like you anymore. I'm sorry, but I just can't deal with any of this. I can't deal with the drama. And for Nina, I understand you're trying to expose Gypsy, especially due to Nicholas Godejohn still being in prison. I get it, but at the same time, I just don't care. I really, really do not care. I can't deal with this anymore. I can't. Because none of this makes sense to me anymore. Gypsy being a victim of her mother, but at the same time being a master manipulator. I mean, she was taught that by her mother, yes. And at the same time, she manipulated people. She manipulated her then boyfriend, Nicholas. She probably manipulated Ryan. And as for Ken, well, who knows? It's weird. It's just really weird. Just putting all of this together, it's just a big mess. Like, let's start from the beginning. Gypsy was born to a mother who was weird. Dee Dee abused Gypsy. Gypsy went along with her mother's scheme. Gypsy then planned to murder her mother with her boyfriend Nicholas, and well,